Hey everybody, welcome to May. I have got your monthly Tarotscope all ready for you. If you're new here, we're going to be talking today about what's going on for you this month in the areas of your three connections, right? The three connections that I really feel like are the most important for you if you're going to be walking a spiritual path, right? That's your connection with yourself, that's your connection with spirit, and that's also your connection with your magic. So we're going to be going over these areas today, letting you know what you can look out for, areas you need to kind of fine tune a little bit, and just overall what to expect in order to really deepen your spiritual practice, right? Okay, so before we go into these areas, I do like to do a little bit of overall like umbrella energy just to show you what's going on in case there's some things that are important for you to know that have gotten missed in any of these other areas. So what I'm pulling up here is I'm pulling up two cards. I'm pulling up the Magician reversed and the Devil reversed. Now, right now you guys are probably going, oh God, this doesn't look good. However, what this is really telling me is that until recently, you have been restricted to kind of move a certain way within any of these connections, right? Any of these three connections, whether that's like a certain mode of business, a certain mode of spiritual connection, whether that's a certain, limitations or things that have been happening with how you're dealing with your personal connection with you and being able to tap in. But there have recently been a lot of restrictions where you have been unable to move freely the way that you really want to. What's happening this month is these restrictions are being released, and now you don't know what to do, right? Because I think sometimes when we get so used to things being a certain way, when those limitations come off, the cool thing is there's no limitations except for the ones you want to put on yourself. And we're in this really cool space right now of being like that. But I think what comes with that is that uncertainty, like, okay, well, where do I go? Because I think most of us really do need a little bit of direction sometimes, or a little encouragement, or a little like, yeah, no, that's a good idea, or oh, that would be a really cool way to go, or hey, you do this, this, and this. What if you put those together and did it that way? Kind of like brainstorming, right? Might be a good thing for you guys to do this month with people that you trust, because the reality of it is you have all of the tools in your box, but you're sort of just not using them. And I'm also getting that you forgot that you might have a lot of these tools, right? Which sometimes does happen within a spiritual practice over time. We're very smart, we're very intelligent, we're very aware, but when it comes to ourselves, sometimes when we get worked up, when we're stressed, we're trying so hard that we forget all of the magic that we do have in our power and our control. So this month, instead of walking in like this, we want to try to flip that card the other direction, right? Like really lean into your power and your gifts that you have, because they are there. They are available for you to use, right? Okay. So now let's talk about individually with our connections, what we want to be or need to be looking at, right? So the first connection we're going to be looking at is our connection with ourself, right? How are we connecting? Now, the thing that I get with this card is we need to be creating balance, or we are creating balance, right? That's kind of the theme of the month. We need to create a good balance between ourselves and listening to ourselves too, right? Some of this too, because I'm also getting part of this balance could be emotional connection as well, right? So lean into that as well. If you're having a hard time, your emotions seem to be all over the place, focus on balancing those out. Focus on maybe doing some shadow work and leaning into why you're feeling that way, and noticing how you're feeling in certain situations, what that's bringing up for you, how it relates to other situations, right? And really, really focus on that, because this month for you is all about creating a good balance with yourself, right? Being able to really flow peacefully in and out of any situation that comes up, right? So make sure that you listen to yourself really well. Form a good connection. If your body tells you need something, give it what it needs, and you're going to create this really cool balance, right? And also to pay attention. I think your emotions are going to be talking to you this month as well. So make sure you do some internal work and connect with that. If you notice yourself having any uncomfortable emotions or outbursts or just frustrations and things like that do come up, right? Because there are some things that definitely need to be addressed for you in those areas. Now, the next thing that we want to look at is we want to look at our connection with spirit. And this card, I look at it, and so funny, the first thing I look at, I hear get outside, right? Get outside. You need to really form connections this month with Mother Nature, right? With the flowers and the plants and the earth and the grass and the clouds and the wind and the moon and the stars and the sun, everything, right? It's really about connecting to nature, connecting to the elements is what Spirit is asking you to do this month, right? I think we forget sometimes too that, we have all these tools and all these supplies and all these other things. And, you can get so many answers from a rock or from hugging a tree or from, just sitting and listening to what the earth wants to tell you in that moment, And I think it's I'm getting back to basics this month with your spiritual connection. So really lean into nature, right? Even if you're in the middle of the city, there's a patch of grass somewhere and you can take your shoes off and you can stand on it. You can close your eyes and you can connect, right? There's a bush somewhere, there's a flower, there's something, right? There's a bird that comes and sits on your railing, and it's really about being mindful and just really connecting with everything that comes your way. So focus on doing that this month. They're telling me too, it's just about the little things, right? Like connecting with Spirit doesn't have to be some big fancy like production scene of things. It can be as simple as, holding a rock, connecting and meditating with it, getting messages, and just receiving from Spirit. So that's what you should be really focusing on this month. Now, if you're a little bit newer to spirituality and those things sound really hard or really complicated, I do have coaching sessions available, and I would love to work with you and really help you lean into this connection and figure out how to kind of empower you to do this in a way that works for you and your gifts. So give me a call. If you want to just do a tarot reading too on any of these, I do have that available, so let me know. The last connection that we want to dive into this month is our connection with our magic, right? This could be actual magic. Maybe you're like a witch and you do that kind of magic, or it could also be your gift that you have that's special, your magical gift that you have that you share with the world in whatever way that you share it. And what I'm getting for this one, this is going to kind of be like our tough spot this month, right? This is where you have some roadblocks and some challenges to overcome. So what I'm getting here is this card, right? So we're getting the Knight of Pentacles. And what this card is telling me really is that, one, we're either not being very consistent with what we're doing, right? So watch your consistency. The other thing too that I'm downloading is I'm getting, it's like kind of a knowledge or information or wisdom sort of catch or roadblock that we're getting. So sometimes you have to kind of try things a little bit in order to figure out how to make them really work for you, right? So if you're trying to learn how to read tarot cards or use a pendulum, or maybe you're learning how to channel, whatever these things are, we don't just wake up and know how to do this stuff. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of dedication, and you're going to mess up first. You just are. It's just going to happen, right? It's like when I was in herb school. And, they said, well, just the way you're going to learn how to work with herbs is you're going to have to try them out. You're going to have to make stuff. You're going to have to make concoctions. You're going to have to make like tea that tastes like a wet gym sock before you figure out that, like A, B, and C herbs are better in tinctures than they are, in a hot tea. So it's really about like a trial and error thing for you guys this month with your magic and your gifts that you're working on. So don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to learn things, because that's how things are going to be become a little more consistent for you, right? Nobody starts off being good at anything. And that goes the same for your gift too, right? And make sure whatever you're doing is that you also apply a consistent effort. I think sometimes something interesting I really realized the other day is that, I want to know about a lot of stuff, but I also don't want to have to take the time to learn about the stuff. I just want to know it without having to focus on learning it, right? And so I think that's a problem that a lot of people have. They're not patient and open to putting that time in because they get frustrated. They're like, well, I just want to know this already. God, it seems like such a lot of stuff, right? And that's also like another energy that I'm kind of pulling off this card. It's like, yeah, sometimes, learning and memorizing or spending the time to study or focus might be a little boring. It might not be as exciting as actually being able to do the thing, but you can't do the thing unless you have all that, that base, that foundation behind you. I didn't just wake up learning how to read tarot cards. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of me studying. It was a lot of me developing my intuitive gifts. It was a lot of stuff. And so when I do it now, it looks easy to people, but it wasn't always easy, right? So this month is going to be for you, for your magical connection. It's the month of not easy, but if you work on it, it's going to be easy, right? So make sure that you give yourself the time and the patience and the credit to be able to really dive into that connection for yourself this month. So that's everything I have for you for May. It looks like it's going to be pretty good overall, so I'm really excited for you guys. And until next time, I hope you guys continue to be magical and beautiful, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you guys so much for watching.